guys, welcome back to Dega Babe this week. I know that this week I was supposed to bring you guys a video honouring the women of Star Wars, and that was kind of inspired by the big protests that took place in places like Washington and in New York. But then this happened. And so I decided I better do this video first, and I promise I will come back to that one next week for the wonderful women of Star Wars. So Disney and Lucasfilm have gone and released that title, The Last Jedi, for Episode VIII. And I'm sure all of you got really excited when you saw that title, because at last it kind of gave us an idea, a very vague idea of what the next movie is going to be all about. And of course it got everybody's mind ticking over, wondering what exactly the Last Jedi title means. And so that's what this video is about today. Is just I wanted to share with you my own thoughts on it, and I would love to hear your comments and what you think Episode 8 is going to be about, what this title tells you, or what you think it tells you. So the first thing we had to notice when the title came out is that the font for Star Wars is in red. And while people are kind of arguing all over the place that the red means that something terrible is going to happen, or that possibly this is Sith involvement in this film, is, I suppose, justified when you look back at the Clone Wars, which also had a red font, which meant the introduction of Darth Maul at the time, and so naturally people think this is the case as well. But there was also a red font when Return of the Jedi was released, and originally it was called Revenge of the Jedi, which was a red font. And okay, yes, terrible things did happen in that. There was the showdown between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, and the Emperor was very prominent in Return of the Jedi, but good did prevail. And on that note, that kind of got me thinking about this title and what this means for Episode 8. So, a couple of things that I thought of. First, my initial thought was, when I saw the title The Last Jedi, was, oh my god, they're going to kill Luke off. That was the first thing I thought, because naturally in this film we all think that Luke is going to train Rey to become a full Jedi. She obviously already has some level of training, because she knew too much in The Force Awakens about the Force and was able to use it quite well, so she obviously already had training with Luke. And that final scene in Episode 7 on our gorgeous Skellig Michael here in Ireland, just kind of the way they looked at each other, I just thought, I mean, she got very emotional, she was crying, and he got quite emotional as well. If you look at Luke Skywalker's eyes, they do look a little like they're welling up a little, and it's as if he recognises her. So I think she was trained by him as a child before she was taken away and left on Jakku, and so she's coming back now to complete that training with Luke. And I think he had already foreseen all of this, and he knew that eventually she would come back, and this was the big day that he was waiting for. Other people would think it was that they both felt the terrible death of Han Solo, and that was that emotion, but I felt they kind of knew each other, and that's what that was about. So on that note, I feel that this film will revolve around Luke Skywalker and all that we've missed for the 20 years he's been in exile, and what happened, and all of these things that happened in Rey's Force vision. You see that moment when Luke puts his hand, the mechanical hand, on the side of R2-D2, and you have to ask yourself, is that the past, or is that actually the future? Because we don't really know, do we? The Force Awakens really wasn't clear about that, so we don't know if she was seeing something that had occurred or something that's going to occur. And it did look terribly dark and really, really awful. But I'm inclined to think that this movie isn't going to be as dark as everybody is anticipating because of that red font. I'm wondering if this movie is going to be about Luke prevailing and Luke coming back full force, if you will, full force, and he trains Rey and she becomes a full Jedi. And this is what I'm thinking myself, is that the Last Jedi is plural. It's not actually referring to one Jedi, it's referring to the entire Jedi Order. And I don't think Rey is the only child that's hidden I think that there are many, many children that were hidden, and he put them in lots of different places to keep them safe, and that in this movie possibly those children as adults are going to return to Luke, and Luke will begin to train the next Jedi Order and take his place in the seat that Yoda once took, and he will take that place, and that would just be so awesome. And judging by the things I was told about the shoot here in Ireland, Luke Skywalker is going to be the ultimate powerful Jedi, probably the best we've ever seen, and I can't wait to see that. Now you have to ask yourself, if The Last Jedi, which was written in white, means that Luke will prevail, then what does the red font mean? I think personally it is Kylo Ren. And I think that Kylo Ren in this movie will complete his training with Snoke and will become 100% a Sith. And so I would like to see that, because I absolutely loved Adam Driver in The Force Awakens. I loved his character, and there were kind of similarities between him and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. For example, this moment, very similar.
Stop! Stop now! Come back! I love you!
Liar!
No!
You're with him! You brought him here to kill me!
No!
Ray, no. Ray!
Traitor!
So I kind of show the similarities there with this pure anger and this pure hatred, but it hadn't been completely harnessed into the dark side. They were still making that crossover, Anakin and Kylo. They were still making that crossover, and I'm wondering if in episode 8 Kylo Ren is in fact going to make the full crossover and become a full Sith and come back full force against the Jedi Order. And that's kind of what I think that red font is going to mean for this movie, is that Kylo Ren is going to come back much stronger, much more pure evil than he was in Force Awakens. In The Force Awakens he was very tormented. He was kind of torn really, and was very similar to Anakin. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen. Then of course there is that other thought, the most terrible thought of all, that they are in fact going to kill off Luke Skywalker, and the last Jedi will in fact be Rey. So Rey will then continue and take the story forward after Luke is gone. Let's face it, Obi-Wan died, Yoda died, maybe Luke will die. If we're doing this whole history repeats itself, which seems to be the case, then maybe Luke is going to pass away, and Rey is going to take on the torch, the saber, and then move forward with the Jedi Order and become the last Jedi. She will be the only one left, and she'll be fully trained at that point. Because after all, Disney and Lucasfilm had openly said that they wanted to take the original characters and kind of remove them and place the story into the hands of a new generation. So that new generation would be Finn, Poe Dameron and Rey, those three main key characters in this new trilogy. And so in that case maybe Luke will be killed off, which will absolutely break my heart, because Luke is my favourite character, always was, always will be, and I cannot imagine sitting in the movie theatre and watching that character die. That would absolutely kill me. And we do have to think as well that Mark Hamill did make a comment, but you know, he went back and said, I didn't, because people did take him a bit too seriously when he would make comments about Star Wars. They would literally decide that all hell had broken loose and that he had given away something big. He did say that he was out of a job when he finished the shooting at Pinewood. He said it jokingly, and you know, in all fairness, there's a long gap when they finish one movie before they come in to shoot the next one. So technically, yeah, he was out of a job. But if it was a slip of the tongue and he meant he was out of a job, it could mean that Luke is killed in episode 8 and we're left with the story in Rey's hands. So I hope that's not the case. I really hope it's that Luke and Rey prevail together, that for the first time ever the master and the apprentice will take the story the whole way and prevail and be victorious at the end together, and one of them won't die, which is always what happens, or one betrays the other. I would love to see it that for once the the master and the apprentice go forward and become the ultimate power in the universe. It's not a bloody Death Star. It's not some planet that they've turned into a weapon. That is, in fact, two human beings, two people who were very at one with the Force. So it'd be really amazing to see that happen. So I'm kind of hoping that's where they're going to go with it. And in episode 9, I have no idea what's going to happen, but that's what I'm hoping for in episode 8. So I guess that's it, really. That was the only thing I could really think of, and it really is, this is kind of a short video. It's probably one of the shortest I've ever done. But I really would like to hear your thoughts, guys, so please do comment below. I try to answer everyone who comments and come back with something, because it really does matter a lot to me what you think and your opinions on these things, and let's get a discussion going. Maybe you have a new theory that I didn't think of. I would love to hear that one in the comment box below, and I'll answer you, of course, if I hear a new one. Or anything else you want to talk about, comment below and let me know. So next week I will bring you the video about honouring the women of Star Wars, and that is in honour of all those amazing women that got out and marched on the day that the Emperor took his place in the White House. That's literally what it feels like, I think, for many people. I'm in Ireland, of course, so, you know, it will affect us. Don't think in America that this won't affect the rest of us. It will. But I really truly feel like the Empire has taken its place in the White House. And I loved that in the march in Washington, Carrie Fisher was very much kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? A mascot. On the day, they had her picture everywhere, and why not? I mean, she was a woman who was very outspoken, who took no crap from anybody, and was very much her own woman, and I thought that was a great person to have on all those signs and billboards and all sorts of things out there. Fair play to you, ladies. So I will promise to bring you that video next week. If you're new to my channel, this is the first video you've watched, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and as I always say, come and join the Force and we can rule the galaxy together. If only we could. Anyway, thanks guys for watching the video, and I'll talk to you next week. May the Force be with you. Bye.